Good day, everyone. Trust you're doing amazing. You're welcome to the Balanced Me Show, and it's such a privilege to come your way again today. The Balanced Me Show is everything about love, life, and everything in between. It's such a privilege to bring your way today an interesting topic. We are looking at balance and alignment, that is, living aligned through balance. Living aligned through balance. Um, there are a few things I'd like us to know even as we go into this topic today. But before I do that, my name is Aya Lawrence, and I am the host of this show, the Balanced Me Show. So today we're going to be looking at a few things even before we delve fully into living aligned through balance. I like to let us know that balance and alignment are friends and not enemies. They are friends, they are not enemies. Um, Good balance is something that is often misunderstood because so many people chase balance as though it's about giving equal time, equal energy, and equal attention to everything at once. But the truth of the matter is, this has proven to be impossible over time, um, because oftentimes people feel like a failure if they are unable to achieve this. But alignment, on the other hand, speaks to living in agreement with what truly matters, living in agreement with what truly matters. And when we're looking at what truly matters, we're looking at your value, looking at your faith, you're looking at the relationship you have, you're looking at your purpose and even your well being. So it's important that we know that um, balance is not the goal at the end of the day. It is alignment, because health balance is one of the tools that helps you to continue to stay aligned. Balance usually creates awareness. It creates um, it helps you to be able to know what exactly is expected of you at each point in time. And alignment directs that awareness toward purpose. That's what alignment does. It directs awareness toward purpose. um let's define what balance is not. I've mentioned it, but I'd like to highlight it so that you can follow what I am, saying this evening. So balance is not equal time for everything. It is not perfection or constant calm. That is not balance. And it is not a fixed destination. So I'll go over it again. Balance is not having equal time for everything. It is not perfection or constant calm, and it is not fixed. It is not a fixed destination, but rather it is intentional regulation of energy. It is being responsive to the various seasons of life that an individual finds himself or herself of overload and neglect. So it is very important that we know this. It is not that you are able to assign equal time, equal energy to everything. No, you are aware, you are in the present, and you're responsive even for the various seasons of life that you might find yourself in. So, balance acknowledges seasons, and alignment helps us to respond wisely within the season that we find ourselves. It's also important for us to understand what alignment is. Alignment occurs when value guides the decision that we take, when our actions reflect our beliefs, and our priorities match our purpose. So I'll come again. Alignment occurs when our values guides our decisions, when actions reflects our beliefs, and priorities match our purpose. And we say an individual is in misalignment, or misalignment shows up when you begin to experience chronic stress, when there is inner conflict, when there is burnout, when our relationships are strained. Alignment always produces stability, because it is not that life is easy, but because the direction an individual is going is clear for such a person. So alignment produces stability, not because things are easy, not because you are able to do all you have to do at each point in time, but because you are clear on where you're going. You're clear on the future that you see, and you have chosen to give it your best shot. So let's look at how balance creates the space for alignment. How balance creates space for alignment. The first thing I mentioned initially is that balance creates awareness. So before you can have an alignment, you have to be aware. You have to be aware. You have to be aware. And when we talk about this, we are talking about noticing things around you without judging. Being able to identify the emotional, the physical, and even the relational overload. You are able to notice the things that are happening around you without judging. You can't be aligned with anything if you are not in your environment, cannot be aligned. It's not possible. Another thing that balance does, it helps you to protect what matters to you the most. It helps you to be able to protect what matters to you the most. Without balance, you find out that things that are urgent may crowd out the things that are important. And it's always important for us to know that we go for the things that are important first before we go for the things that are urgent. So it's important that we are able to clarify what are our core, you know, so that we can be very important choice at time. We are making choices that are in alignment with meaning that we are. Balance guards priorities, so alignment remains possible. Balance guards our priorities so that alignment remains very possible. Another thing that balance does is it helps to sustain focus. It enables sustainable focus. So when there is no alignment, or rather, when there is balance and there is no alignment, you find that it leads to burnout. When you are not in alignment, you find out that it leads to burnout. Too little stress, if there's nothing that is, prodding you ahead, you find there's not going to be engagement. There's engagement. And at the same time, when there is too much stress, you find out that there is down. Where stress is in optimal amount, you find that there is growth. So it is important for us to know that a little stress, that optimal stress is good for us. A situation wherein there is no stress at all in your life, you're disengaged, you're just coasting along. And if it is too much, you find out that people break down. But when there is that optimal stress that is needed for growth, people, are able to grow. People are able to develop. So it is important that there is that optimal stress so that there is growth, so that there is sustainability in whatever we are doing. Because sustainability is a sign of wisdom. It tells us that this individual knows what he or she is doing and is able to stay strong through the seasons of life. So let's look at living aligned through balance from the mental and emotional perspective. Inner balance usually regulates our emotions and also our thoughts. Um, it balances our thinking and our feeling. When we are challenged extremely, what happens is that there's going to be distortion. But when there is balance in our minds, we find out that our lives becomes aligned. That is, we are sensitive to the seasons of life. We know what we need to give whatever season we are in per time. And as such, as a result of that, we experience alignment in all that we have to do. Let's also look at living aligned through balance as regards relationships that we find ourselves and as regards even our family. It is important for us to know that relationship lose alignment when giving and receiving are imbalanced. When you're in a relationship and it's only you that is giving, or it's the other person that is giving, or there's that imbalance, you find out that there is going to be a misalignment. You find out that, someone, maybe the wife or the husband, overfunctions when the other person disengages. Over time, resentment builds up. If the two of them are not aligned, if the two of them are not working together as a team, because one feels I'm the one giving, I'm the one having to make suggestion, I'm the one having to bring up issues, I'm the one having to try to bring this relationship together. So it is very, very important that there is a rebalance of the emotional labor. The two of them come together by clarifying what even the expectations are. This is what I expect of you, my husband. This is what I expect of you, my wife. So that there will be a restoration of mutual responsibility in that relationship. One of the things that balance does is that it restores dignity, and alignment restores unity. So while balance restores dignity in a relationship, alignment restores unity. It's also important for us to know that when you have a high performing professional that prioritizes his or her work at the expense of the health of his or her health, or even the family, there are a few things that happen. There is anxiety, there is irritability, there is emotional exhaustion. So it is very, very important that even as individuals seek to get better on their career, they seek to ensure that there is an adjustment in their work life, their health, their family, their relationships that they find themselves in. It's important that they adjust things around them, the boundaries around work hours. I actually had to adjust my work hours this new year that we entered, I ensure that all I have to do, I do between 9 a.m. when I resume in the morning and 5 p.m. in the evening. So I've been able to speak with my clients such that we don't have sessions after 5 p.m. so that I can also take care of myself. I can also be present in my own family as well. So it's very, very important that, there are boundaries around our work hours so that we can get enough rest, so that we can, be in tune even with our family, so that we can even rest enough and not be in misalignment with the things that are, very important to us. And it's also very important that we reclarify, the purpose for which we're doing whatever we're doing. Because when the purpose of a thing is not known, there's a saying that abuse is inevitable. So it is very important that we reclarify, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I engaged in all the things that I'm engaged in? What's the result that I am looking at, at the end of the day to get by engaging in the things that I am engaging in? And when there's this adjustment, you find out that there is improved alignment, and not that you are going after the things that matter to you. You'll still be able to go after the things that matter to you, but you are now in better alignment with yourself, with your life, with the people that are around you, and you're able to achieve much more. So, for there to be balanced alignment, there are a few things that you would need to do. There are a few practical steps that you need to engage in. The first thing is for you to even identify, what season am I in? What season of life am I in? And not that you are comparing yourself with another. Um, I'll give a woman as an example. A woman who is still raising children, maybe the children are still preteens, and a woman whose children are all adults. We're in two different seasons. So a woman who is still raising children will not be able to do the things that a woman whose children are all adults is doing. So such a woman must be able to recognize that in this season, I'm still raising my children, and there may be things I may not be able to engage in that someone who is already with adult children is engaging in. Then it is also very important for us to clarify our core values. What are the things that matter most to you? What are your values? Your core values: love, excellence, integrity, innovation, friendship, whatever it is. You need to be able to clarify it, because that is what will help you to be in that state of balanced alignment. Then another thing that you need to be able to itemize: what are the areas that you're experiencing imbalance at this point in time? What are your current imbalances? Because when you are aware of them, when you are able to name them, then you will be able to adjust your boundaries and even your expectations. You'll be able to adjust your boundaries and even your expectations. So, name the current imbalances that are in your life, and then adjust your boundaries. What are the things you want to engage in? What are the things that you wouldn't engage in, even as an individual? Then, around your life, build rhythms and not rigid routines. It's important that you have routines. It's important that you have rituals around your life. Oh, this is what I want to do at this time. This is what I want to engage at this time. But there are times that there may be a need for you to move things around a bit. And when you are moving things around a bit, still ensure that there are rhythms around those things that you're moving. Ensure that your routine is not so rigid that you are not flexible. You must be flexible. You must be flexible. You know what you want to do, you know what you want to engage in. But if there's a need for you to adjust things slightly, feel free to do that. And then it is very, very important that you review what alignment means to you regularly. Very important that you review what it means, so that you don't unnecessarily, keep yourself in that state of, oh, this is what has to be done and this is what I'm going to do. And if it does not happen this way, then things, can't go further. One of my older friends, shared an um, an interesting thing that happened, to myself and her some few years ago. I think it was 2015. So we went on a all girls trip, to Europe, and we visited Belgium and France. Before I left home, then we were living in Kenya. I'd already come up with a list of things that I wanted, to do, to engage in, and all to buy as well. And as we got to the shops, um, with my list in my hand, I just went to the stores, picked all I needed to pick, and that was it. I didn't go outside of my list. I was just very, very um, strict with what I had on my list. And when I was done, I went into the car to sit down, waiting for others to join me. So by the time we got to the hotel, and we were in the same room together, she was showing me the things that she had bought. I showed her what I'd bought as well. And by the time I looked at what she had bought, there was a particular thing that was of interest to me. But because I didn't have it in my list, I didn't even think of, getting it. And that happened to be kitchen scissors. And I I I asked her, I said, please, she bought two. I said, please, can you give me one of your scissors? And she was like, no, I won't give you. You were so fixated on your list, you didn't even window shop to see if there are other things that you might have missed out of your list. Like these scissors that you're asking me to give you. So I'm not going to give you. That is going to be your punishment. But I begged, please let me have it. It's very important and all. Unfortunately, she released, you know, it to me. And why am I sharing this? It's important for us to be flexible. I was so fixated on my list. I was so rigid, even when others were saying, oh, Ayo, let's just even see what is here. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just want to do this. And I sat down, and I missed out on that opportunity. But fortunately, she was able to give me that beautiful kitchen scissors. So we must be flexible. We must be flexible, even if you have made up our minds that this is what we want to um, do, this is what we need per time. We must still be able to see, okay, do I need to adjust anything here so that I can be in alignment, despite the fact that this is what I'm used to doing. So we need to, ensure that we are not so fixated, we are not so rigid, we are flexible, so that we can be able to achieve a lot more than we would have if we are just so fixated on our own ways. So, in conclusion, today, I would like us to know that balance is not about doing everything. That's not what balance is. It is about being able to steward our lives wisely. It's about being able to know the things that are important for us to do, at a point in time, and doing them. And we ought to also remind ourselves that alignment brings us peace. Not because life is quiet, but because our life is ordered. Alignment brings us peace. Not because life is quiet, it's just because our life is ordered. And We ought to always remind ourselves that a balanced life supports alignment, and an aligned life sustains purpose. An aligned life sustains purpose. And even as I wrap up, our show today, I would like us to go away with some questions that we, can reflect upon even as we go through life. And the first question I would like you to go with is, where is imbalance affecting my alignment right now? Where is imbalance affecting my alignment right now? And remember, we said that balance is about stewarding your life wisely. So when we talk about imbalance, so where am I not stewarding my life wisely, such that I'm not in alignment right now? The second question is, what value needs protection in this season? That core value of yours, which one of them needs protection in this season? Or the ones that needs to be protected in this season? And then even as you go into the new week, starting from tomorrow, what small shift can restore balance in your life? What small shifts do you need to make in your life that can restore balance even as we go into the new week? I expect you to answer this question and even give us your findings in the comments so that we can be able to support you much more. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on the Balance Me Show this month, and we look forward to you joining us much more in the future. Do take care of yourself and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the month. Bye and God bless.